Alright. Let's music real quick.
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself, you don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them, you don't prepare for your own meat, you don't own your own land, you don't have a seed growing in your window. So when you think about revolutionarism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit.
Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat. Crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa. Ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis, and bury it, the jackal, Anubis. I'm cool, keep them heaters and I'm in tie and an abyss. He ain't rapping due to libations, he just channeling this.
Hands down, you ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified.
I'm on life. Hovercraft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this. Don't blink, there's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees, and still be Hotep and ask Tariq Nasheed. 6 in the morning I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions get stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not diametrically opposed to anybody. I agree with everything my brother said about revolutionaryism. So let me ask you guys a few questions. We're in the South, we're in the heart of the South right now. Who fishes? Who knows how to fish? Hands down. Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands down, hands down, hands down, hands down.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
Let's listen to that next joint.
Morodic script in my cartouche. Roll through with them arches. All cool. That's in my shinu. I'm Bennu giving y'all truth. Iron core from meteorite should be chartreuse. Turbocharged the chariot and almost left Ferrari. The queen like almost Nefertari. Immortalize an image, put a figure in a figurine. Kemet, Netaret, hoop, them leopard skin kilts, yeah, the clan wear 'em. And I turn your knee suit to a fan bearer. Have my servants build a new stadium where I'ma slaughter you, surround your tomb line with boot cranium. Remove the organs, we preserve the dead. Mummify them, then carve them a reserve head. And all your internet mans who lied with you, died with you, sacrificed their life, afterlife with you. Now I'm all in your spot, and I'm calling the shots. While your soul get devoured in the hall of my eye. Can't a night ballin' or not, care if you ballin' or not. I'm still gonna tell you guys, go to Kemet like El Shaddai. You ain't no king, You're like Cambyses the Persian who couldn't draw the Nubian bowstring. Melt the jewels in your crown into a gold ring. Refashion them after smashing the whole thing. You're like Pepe II. Too old, king. If you think it ain't black, then let me just check them. I know the syntax. Every morphine and phoneme. The scholarship top line, dog, and the flow mean. And my debater make a fraud, quit the internet. Sometimes I wonder if I saw to fix this window yet. That's what you call repair, re-end. They heard the king of me jaw was a scary man. And he is though. I'm telling you, you better contain him, man. He's busting arrows at all these Mediterraneans, killing them. Now we ain't getting no views. Yeah, them flip-flops look like Tutankhamun shoes. And y'all just wiki, thinking I'm enthused. They turned Egyptian temples to churches and still say, I'm enthused. It's crazy. They just wiki, cause they lazy. So they can call me pseudo, it don't faze me. The page monetized, so crushing you clowns pays. You dig? Magi archers. Dead
All right,
period.
let me see. No, feel free to hit the link. Just chilling. Back in the building. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So modern Egyptologists, as we see, ain't saying what everybody else was saying. We got so many clips, it's a shame. The whole world just need to see this. But hit the link, y'all, so we can get it started. We might as well start the show when some people hit the link. So I don't be here by myself like that. Because then I'm going to be like, Jim. I want to get some of y'all commentary, though. So hit the link. I have not been doing new work on the audio book. Shout out to Patah. Down to hit the link. Start with Brother Patah.
Peace. You already know what it is. Black African power.
What's up with
I'm
you?
standing strong. I'm standing tall. Yo, finally put it out. You contacted him last night and he gave you the go-go?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tight. That's hot. That makes me think that he's definitely been viewing the channel, and I'm sure he's hearing good things. I'm sure, like you said, it's probably this thing is going global. It's only in our small cubicle, but a lot of these.
No, it's not in our small cubicle. It's not. It's in the whole world. I'm talking about the conversations, the whole world, as far as the field is concerned, even just like he just said. He was like, you said it's an old debate, but nah, they having this debate right now.
Right, exactly. I'm just referring to a statement that you made last night, that, we don't know how far this thing is from what we have, a conversation between the community of skeptics, PKs, Smash Rockwell's channel, and what Sarnetta has been putting forth. We don't know who all's listening, but we know some are listening. And then to have all the female Egyptologists that have been brought on to say things, and then Jonathan Winterman to come on and put down that rock. It's amazing to see that all these Egyptologists, PhD scholars within our community are adding to the conversation, and we don't know, and we must be doing something right. You, Reggie, and I'm sure I'm gonna speak on Dr. Mario Beatty and the ASCAC. We gotta get involved with them as well. I've been meaning to say that, but I think this conversation is huge. That interview, fire. I mean, and then you being connected to UCLA, one of the top colleges in the nation.
Here go the backdrop to everything. I mean, about that, how that's concerned. Karen Coney is probably like on top of the department at UCLA. Y'all correct?
And she was the one that you had showed that had the hieroglyph t-shirt on.
No, Karen Coney is the one Garfield them interviewed.
Oh, okay. I'm still waiting on the one that had the Hiero t-shirt on. Waiting on you to have her interviewed. That's gonna be tight when y'all get together. But you said Caraconi is in charge of UCLA?
Yeah.
Okay. And Jonathan is works under
I don't know about under or over. They all one team at UCLA.
Okay.
But I think she got the most tenure.
Got you.
And she might be the director. I don't know. But as well as I heard a new addition was Dr. Solange Ashby. Or am I correct? Was it Solange Ashby or was it Dr. It might have been Solange Ashby. One of the new additions. You never heard of
it? Yo, so I just it took a while for me to come in. So you saying Jonathan seen a video that you had and then said it was okay?
No, I didn't know. I never said that.
Okay, I thought that's what Patah said or somebody before I got on.
No, I asked him, did he finally contact him to give him the go-ahead to release?
Okay.
And I was like, that's awesome that, you finally got that go-ahead.
Right.
Yeah. But I do believe that he's probably, I'm sure if he is subscribed and he hit the bell to get the notifications on Smash's channel, every now and then he ain't doing nothing, he might chime in. Not chime in, but
pretty good. Yeah, this been a pretty good week, man. I mean,
oh man, wonderful week, wonderful. Well, actually, it's been a good run this month, and it ain't over.
Right? Yeah, I'm just talking about the last couple of days have really been outstanding. Like, I mean, within this last week or so, like this has been pretty good. It seems like the level of scholarship is kind of catching up to where we supposed to be at.
Where we've always wanted it to be.
Yeah, instead of just a back and forth conversation, it's starting to get to a level. So I'm not really looking forward to anybody else's commentary, man. I just want to say, man, I was glad you was able to release that smash because that was just two humans reading a text and nobody was superior in that or it didn't felt like nobody was superior or inferior. And it was just two people having a dialogue. It was, it wasn't somebody just looking to try to
gotcha moments, right?
Yeah. It just looked like you seen them smiling and having a really good time, in the jousting of information. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I liked about it. I mean, loved about it. And man, I just like I said, I don't see no other repudiations coming.
Well, there's some things that he said definitively in there that people probably did not hear. And we could go back and listen to him and put the glyphs on the screen. Because when he was talking in the beginning, when we was going over the Serge Sanaran, he basically saying, but he doesn't agree. He's not saying this, but it catches you up, right? This is what I mean. He said the way they would have said it, they would have put the Kim, and then they would have put a seated man behind the Kim. We got that plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so just because he's, what I'm saying, he said whatever he said about it, we just showed that plenty of times. So the last thing that we was looking at, one of the instances where I thought I was showing it to him, he did not agree. Remember, he disagreed with Sandro Capoccici, basically.
Right.
So that's just not a big deal, but that's just...
Yeah, it's just some things gonna have to be worked out. Like he said, he's not an expert on personal names. He said that himself. I didn't say it. So maybe once he gets a little familiar with the personal names, maybe he'll be able to come back and give you a better render. You know what I mean? As far as what he thinks.
No, he nailed the part. When I put the personal names up, he nailed it. Said she was the black feminine one.
Oh, okay.
But he did say that when I had the two other brothers up, and I was like, "So you trying to tell me?"
Yeah. That was a classic moment. When you were like, "Man, that's thinking," because the picture. I don't know. Did the picture come up there? Where you showed like he was where he in front of the what you call it? Because no, I didn't even catch the notification smash to an hour in. I was like, damn, how I missed this. You know what I mean?
Real? Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. That just, it happens.
Why the screen like, what's on? Oh, that's how I didn't know what was going on. I was like,
wow. Oh, so you trying to share what you was talking about?
No. I just was wondering what was going on. I could go like this or whatever.
Why is my screen blank too? Ain't I supposed to have a picture right here?
No, it's showing you.
actually me?
Yeah, close your camera.
Oh, okay. That's what's going on. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I ain't got no light on in my room. So
Yeah,
what?
that's cool.
I was like, why the hell I ain't got my picture?
Yeah,
okay,
I didn't look at the screen for a minute. I just peeped game.
Right. But yeah, I mean, so like I said, at this point, I can't wait for the next dialogue between you two.
Well, hopefully, yeah, we will have another one. But I'm about to pull that video right back up right now, and I want us to just listen to some stuff people don't be hearing. Let me see.
It's always good to, especially in this particular instance, to do a couple of repetitions of because it's with the imagery.
Yeah, get to do the breakdown. Yeah,
with the imagery, that'll be a lot better. And see, that's why I say, as far as you, the integrity side, you ain't hiding your hand. You putting it right in their face. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't figure this out, something has got to be wrong. There's some Christianity still in you or something.
See if you can hear this. You funny. See if you can hear this. Wait, why? I don't want it to be like that though. Oh, great. Y'all hear that? So,
I don't hear that.
Oh, y'all don't hear that? Let me stop it. I gotta share it right. I don't know how I always do that. Oh, but I should share it a different way still. Hold on. Share all the whole screen. There you go. We gonna get right in on what he say, the response to Sarge Salaron claims. Because we spent 30,000 years with people talking about would have and all this dumb stuff. See? Ain't nobody took the Sarge Salaron Diop situation to an Egyptologist and got their opinion. They took it to ChatGPT. Oh, that was the biggest fail. In history, that's going to play out as one of the, imagine what the kids 30 years from now when they watch YouTube trying to find some old stuff, like we be looking at Bobby Him and them and stuff. Yeah, they going to be like, they took it to Chat. Yeah, they took it to ChatGPT. That was a hoopty ass AI back then. But let's see. Forward. And so I know it sounds
always with the idea. This debate is still going on today.
So the debate about whether Egypt mean black is still going on today. Okay. We can just jot things down because we just let it play through with no commentary. They gonna hear what they want to hear.
And especially within Egypt and the surrounding.
But by the way, I explained to him before the dialogue that my other monitor was off to the left. So if I don't look directly at him in the camera, not to think that I'm on some other shit. Because I know people just be, you know what I'm saying, thinking, watching, why you ain't never looking? But all that, we could do all that.
Areas, and it's not a pretty debate. It's an extremely ugly debate where very, very nasty things are said. So I also just wanted to kind of, acknowledge that. And you see especially, I feel like you see especially kind of more authoritarian systems of power kind of trying to engage with it.
So you hear what he's saying? It's an ugly debate, but you hear authoritarian systems of power trying to engage with it. So he's not talking about us. Cats got a peak game when they don't even hear what people be saying. He talking about the other side has been hella ugly with this game.
Always with the idea that Egypt is something that people want to claim. And
now let's
there's nothing wrong with claiming.
See, they tried to spin that when I played the little clip as if he was talking about, let's put all parties included. But he talking about Egypt, even, white people tried to claim it, Arabs tried to claim, everybody tried to claim it.
Correct.
So, but in the context of what he's saying right here, cats ain't even hearing.
In systems of power, kind of.
The systems of power engaging in the conversation that's making it all ugly.
Yo, Smash, I know you got some soundboard or something. Can you turn it up a little bit? I don't know if you can.
That's as loud as it goes. For
Okay,
some
word.
reason, you might have to the soundboard. I can turn it up louder for Zoom, but not. I mean for YouTube, but not for Zoom.
Okay, word. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure they could hear everything.
Yeah, they can hear it. Peace to Reggie. Hold on, Reggie, you in the building? Once you in the building, peace to you.
Always with the idea that Egypt is something that people want to claim. And there's nothing wrong with claiming ancient Egypt, but there may be something suspicious about claiming ancient Egypt to the exclusion of others. To say that it's a monolithic thing and it's therefore my thing and therefore not your thing, I think that's where I start to get a sense of discomfort. But so to go back to the comment of Sauneron. So basically what he is saying is that you quite correctly point out that the word for black in Medu Necher, should we call it, is Kem, or what comes out in Coptic as Kema or Kem, something like that.
So I mean, we never argued that. Now, but let's pay attention to detail what he says here. Reggie, you there? All right.
The way that the Egyptians made abstracts was with a feminine. So if they wanted to say,
now, do y'all understand that? All right, so we got to put the glyphs on the screen. So this is what he's saying, and he don't know I know all the way yet. He trying to break it down for me, but he kind of know I know. So he said, as I rightly pointed out, the way to say black is Kim. So we're gonna do this along with the video, right? Now he said, now if they wanted to make an abstract, what did he say that they would add? Any of y'all there? Right.
I'm in the building.
It's cool. I'm gonna rewind it so everybody can follow.
Black in Medu Necher, should we call it, is Kem, or what comes out in Coptic as Kema or Kem, something like that. The way that the Egyptians made abstracts was with a feminine. So if they wanted to say like the black person, what they would have probably written, again theoretically, because I can't really.
Wait, did he say a T yet? Or did I
He didn't say.
All right, he didn't say it yet. Hold on.
Or what comes out in Coptic as Kema or Kem, something like that. The way that the Egyptians made abstracts was with a feminine. So if they wanted to say like the black person, what they would have probably written, again theoretically, because I can't really tell you any examples that I have of them calling anyone, whether it's themselves, a foreigner, a Nubian, a black person. I don't think that I have any examples of this, but
I showed a lot of them at the end, and it was good.
What they would have done, so they would have used the phonetic signs Kem, and then they would have had a classifier of a seated man.
Now, phonetic sign Kim. Now, y'all remember how he said if they wanted to form an abstract, they would have used the feminine.
Which is the T.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm about to say, but I'm going to put
My
the
bad.
T. Yeah. Oops, I'm not in the screen. Oops, they got me right down there. Excuse me. So I would have put the T. So in this instance, you might as well just go. Right? And then they would have put a seated man, right? Is that what he said? Or am I
as the classifier, they would have put a seated man. That's what he said.
All right. So now let's listen. Hold on, why my screen go black? Let's listen.
And again, there's ways of even distinguishing between foreign or Egyptian and foreign in the way that seated figure would have looked. So for example, if they show an Egyptian man or someone like kind of culturally coded to be Egyptian, then you can tell that they're understanding this person as Egyptian. If they show them, perhaps with a feather on their head or,
So right here, we could just stop. Right? And then we could go, because adding a woman ain't gonna change it, or is that gonna change it to y'all? It will change it. Look,
it's gonna change the gender.
Yeah, no, it's gonna change. Look, now if you go,
select.
No, that's a different man. I'm supposed to go B2, right? B2. Oh, that's B1.
Yeah, B1.
Thank
Can
you.
you hear
What's
me
up
now?
with Reggie? Peace to Reggie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking and my mic wasn't working. Yeah, B1.
Oh, that's what was happening. I was like, where Reggie at? What's up with you?
I'm watching. They're excellent. After party.
Oh, I should put it up. What's Z2, huh? So I
Z
go
D3.
B1, B1
A1, B1, Z3.
over Z3. Both of these need to be connected. I should have been like that. I'm sorry. So give me some commentary, Reggie.
Well, he made the point. He said if they was talking in an abstract, they would have put in a T, and if they was talking about a person, they would have put the classifier as a man. In this case, we have men and women, right? And that if that is the rule, that's the rule independent of Kim. So that's the rule for all glyphs. So the problem is with the Kim glyph is that we have problems with, right? It has to be translated to Egyptians, right? But if you look at the other examples where this rule applies, they use the adjective. They use the adjective to describe, but not with Kim, right? And the meaning of Kim. No, go ahead.
Well, he
No.
just broke it down. Now here's the thing. People seen me add glyphs that he didn't say. He just said it to have a seated man, right? But I added a woman in 3 strokes. Can anybody speak to the woman in 3 strokes and tell them would that change? What would that change about it?
Yeah, it's a collective. So now it's another rule which is called the collective, and it means people. So now this classifier with the 3 strokes with the T means people.
Now here's the thing. Whether or not we find this rendition say and translated it as what he just told us, if they wanted to say to write black people, they would have put the Kim, a black person, they would have put a Kim glyph. And then he said something about the abstract, they would have put a T. And then he said they would have put a seated man. I mean, why I'm saying what he would have said. Let's let the people hear him again and look at what we're looking at.
So if they wanted to say like the black person, what they would have probably written, again, theoretically, because I can't really tell you any examples that I have of them calling anyone, whether it's themselves, a foreigner, a Nubian, a black person. I don't think that I have any examples of this. But what they would have done, so they would have used the phonetic signs chem, and then they would have had a classifier of a seated man. And again, there's ways.
Again, I'm gonna just leave that one on the screen so people can compare the two. This is actually what he said: Kim, and then the classifier of a seated man, which is just A1. Right now, what do y'all see different from these? He spoke to this, but what the determinatives is still a man. So this is how you say a black person, but this will be how you say black people. I hope people is following that. And so, I mean, it's very simple.
Of even distinguishing between foreign or Egyptian and foreign in the way that seated figure would have looked. So for example, if they show an Egyptian man or someone like kind of culturally coded to be Egyptian, then you can tell that they're understanding this person is Egyptian. If they show them, perhaps with a feather on their head or, with kind of some other kind of foreign significance or signifier, then this might be showing that they're, being distinguished from the normal Egyptian population. But again, we don't have any of this, as far as I'm concerned. We don't, or as far as I know, we don't have any kind of people that are called the black people, to my knowledge. What instead we have is
yeah.
Exactly.
that's why I think we need to stop it.
That was fun. That's fun because he's just like, to his knowledge, he don't got that. So either he's saying in his studies he never considered this rendition as that, but he just told us this is what it is. You see what I'm saying? And so when we come across this rendition, I think he's going to be inclined to render this as Kemet to you. Because then when I showed him what Sandro Capocci said about the Kimu, he did not see it in the same way. And so that's let me think, okay, well, you just said that this is what it'll be, but we need to find a singular instance of it. Does it just have to be one man? What if it's a black man and a woman? Then it would look like this, correct? What if it's a black collective or a black group? Then it would indeed look like this. Now, this is what I've always argued. Whether or not the attestations that we found that look like this actually say that, like the Cahoon papyrus or what have you, you cannot eliminate the option of this translation as black people. That's what you can't do. And that's what the scholars just seem to have proved by default of telling us how it would look. But what y'all say on that?
Quick question. This is Patak. The second rendition, is it missing a T?
No, it's not. From what he said, because this is a man, so it shouldn't be masculine.
Now, what I'm going to admit right now is I don't think I've ever seen that rendition without a T. Yeah,
because I was going to add, would that be a false feminine in that case, even though it's abstract? If you added the T.
So here's the thing: you true that it could be a T here because it could be shifted to the abstract. What he was saying. But what let's listen to exactly what he said. They put a Kim. He spoke on the abstract, but he didn't include it in his rendering. So watch this. This one I jumped the gun. See, look, he said he'd never seen it. So I started opening the screen, but then I checked myself. So I was like, nah, don't do your video like that. Right after somebody say they never seen some shit. You said, oh, well, what is this right here?
Right.
So I checked myself. And then I went to the coldest one. Watch to the one you're going to see I went to,
like
Reggie.
Kind of culturally coded to be Egyptian, then you can tell that they're understanding this person is Egyptian if they show them, perhaps with a feather on their head or, with kind of some other kind of foreign significance or signifier. Then this might be showing that they're, being distinguished from the normal Egyptian population. But again, we don't have any of this, as far as I'm concerned. We don't, or as far as I know, we don't have any kind of people that are called the black people.
Now let me ask you a question. Just on some cerebral man shit, why did he change as far as I'm concerned as far as I know? Because at first he was like, as far as I'm concerned, you feel me? And he was like, nah, hold on, I don't mean as far as I'm concerned. I mean as far as I know.
Yeah, I think he said that just being respectful, saying in his academic understanding.
I disagree. If you look at the book, if you look at the Book of the Gates, they talk about the Rimesh and they talk about the four men, right? So if you go to the Book of Gates, I'm pretty sure you're going to see the concept of the in this case the man with the name next to it or underneath it for each of the
all right. So y'all know we found that right on my show. So let me just go live. We got that, bro. And the TLA corroborates it. Remember the Orchison picture? Look. Wow. See, like, they don't really want to deal with the archers. Because we'll sit around all day looking at blurry stuff in a group until we figure it out. Now, if they ain't going to want to take this Kim, they ain't going to have to. But you see, first let's start at the man sitting. Well, you see you probably see nin, you see the two water ends, then you see like a Q and an R. Then something, now that's the Kim glyph. Now, I'm not making this up. This is a Kim glyph right here. They go to M. There, now over here with my hand, you can't, what kind of mouse do y'all see? Let me see.
Yeah, you got a hand right there.
Yeah, under this hand, you're going to, when I move this hand right now, you're going to see the hair glyph. Look, under there, this is a hair glyph. Oh, I know what I'm about to do. I'm going to trace it out. Now, I don't have to just say this. I got this from the TLA, and then I went to the primary. And what it says is the reward for this black man. That's what the TLA say. But now we're going to go to the SNP and trace it out so you can see it cleaner. because the hieroglyph is actually here. Some of y'all probably can see the hieroglyph already. Well, look, they go to top line to the hieroglyph, and it goes down right here. It go to second inside of the hieroglyph, and y'all see the third one.
Okay,
right?
word. Yeah.
Now let me take it off. Now you can see it.
Yeah,
right?
I can see it.
Now here go to Kim, and I ain't doing this. I'm gonna show y'all in the TLA. I made it bigger than it is, but it probably was higher. So
okay,
I'm just gonna try to trace it.
Okay, I see which way, and I can also see which way.
You know how I got the spikes off the end or whatever. Now, it's so blurry right now. It's hard to see the second M, but y'all can see the M, right? It's right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, the cigar, the spliff.
Well, hold up. Is these going in? Are they going in different
They're going
directions?
to the left. They're going to the left. Now here go the hieroglyph. Now people say, "Oh, you making that up?" Now we just had not figured what this is yet, right? I think Chris had something for that. And here go the seated man.
Yep.
Now, when we did this is a reward for the black man who watches over this statue. Now let me show y'all in the TLA. So people won't be like, dang, they be making stuff up. What you actually gonna see is we be kind of going deep. You feel me? And so I'm gonna come to the TLA. I was just researching something for a card. Let me see something. TLA right here. Now, I know how to get straight to this text. You can get straight to it too. For this one, when you type Kim, you go to the last page. So that's why sometimes you got to do all the research down to the very last page. So it should be 8, but oh no, I'm wrong. Go back. Find the Kim, not the verb. Y'all see in the TLA right now, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yes, sir. Click this Kim. It should be 8. No, it says 4 occurrences. That ain't the one I want. They got it in here twice, and that'll fool you too. If you click the one with only 4 occurrences, we want this the one we want. Black New York. This should have like 30 something. Let me see. 72. I apologize. Come to page 8, and we're gonna see that what I was just showing ain't made up. Because I didn't translate the TLA, did I?
No, you didn't.
Exactly. So now it says loading sentences, and it should be on page 8. I'm going to translate page 8. Oh, yeah, that's page 8. Is detecting the language. We'll find it. Oh, this is the Great Black Nubian. Wait. Well, it's so since we're here, they might both be on the same page. But this is another
Great Black Nubian.
Yeah, this is another thing that my good brother Jonathan, I just didn't get the time to show him this one. He said he had not seen it for Nubians or anyone, right? But all of y'all can see right here that I'm not translating this. This says being like a great, not like a weak or measly, but a great black Nubian. Right?
So they're saying the Hess, right?
Pardon me?
That would translate to a great black Nehess.
Yeah,
right?
Well, here's the thing. This right, so here go to Kim, and they got the hieroglyph, is what they're saying. But they're going to aha, which means great. Now we got this, we just got a throw stick, an S, and a Y, right? And the me. So when you click on the throw stick, the S, and the Y, they saying that's short for what? Nubian, Southerner, Nehesi, right?
Right.
And so I could have put this out like, well, here go one where they say the Great Black Nubian, and we could have started reading this. But what we're looking for is one other one. It's just, so if both of them is on page 8, then page 8 is cracking.
Well, good job.
Go ahead. Reggie, you
I think he might be talking in the background. I don't know.
I press mute. So everybody's just seeing that Great Black Nubian, right?
Indeed.
And in your what? He's like a Great Black Nubian in his what?
in his appearance. In your appearance. But he guess they talking about in his appearance.
Pardon me?
I'm talking about who when they say in your appearance, who are they talking? Are they talking about he's like a great black being like a great black Nubian in your appearance.
Exactly.
So that's descriptive.
Exactly. Right? So you look like a black Nubian in your appearance. Now it could have went. We don't know what his appearance meant, but the point is that he said a great black Nubian, and we could go further to see what what he meant by in your appearance. Was he dressed like a Nubian? I read that text, and it's just you just like a Nubian. You a boss. No, I did show him that American Dream. You just got to rewatch the video. He said he didn't agree with the author who said that it meant the black people. He said that in that rendition that I showed him, he thought it meant something else. And then me and him went back and forth. And he said he think that a TU bird could be fit into that area. I could take that. I would take that argument up. Because Kurt Self didn't say that it was a TU bird there. So we could go look at that. And I mentioned that to him. I was like, I should have pointed it out. So no, on that attestation, he did not agree that the attestation I showed translated that way. But all throughout the video, even like we showing you here, he said it would look like what we showing you. Like this. And I went further the limb, and this could be confusing to include this one, but this has to be included. Because this one don't say people. This say person. So you got to go to the people translations. And I had so much stuff to show. We went over it. I could even show this. I think we found this afterwards. But I'm trying to find that in the TLA. So y'all can build while I look for it. It's the reward for this black man.
See, one of the problems is that when you put up other cases of this, it's clear as a bell. All the rules work. So if you put up like pot with the people glyph, if you put in rekeat with the people glyph, all of it works, right? They even they don't retranslate pot into something else like they do with Kemet to Egyptians. With the rekeat, they don't retranslate rekeat into a whole nother word with a Greek connection. They translate it directly. So the issue with the scholar is that he said that he hasn't seen any cases. And we have seen the cases and we're showing the people the cases. And not only that, we can compare it.
But you gotta remember, I showed him Takemi. So here's the thing, and then he agreed. He said that mean the black female won. So just because she female and not a male, I waited like 30, 40 minutes in the video, whipped out Herman Ranker's work. And if I gotta play it again, they can see that he said, oh no, yeah, that mean the black female one. But then he said, or it could mean something related to Kemet. But he didn't want to contradict what Herman Ranker has said. So he just simply said, look, I just waited. Like we ain't getting up out of here without doing this real quick.
Then he makes a interesting problem. He says that he's not an expert on personal names.
Yeah, that was good. That was good for me.
Yeah.
Because he said, you sound more knowledgeable than me on this. They didn't want to hear that part, though.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why I made the statement that I thought it was, he was doing it from an academic standpoint when he said, I've never seen, then he said, well, he's never come across it.
Well, here it go right here. So this is the point in the video where I finally like, okay, before you get up out of here, I have to show you what you say you never seen. So here we go. Names of the Middle Egyptian. So this is me copying directly from the website, just so everyone know. This is my opinion on the screen. And Herman Ranker took the name Ta-Kemi when he found it in the 3 attestations. Let's stop real quick. And one of them was, y'all see the Kim glyph, just like he said it would have the Kim glyph. See, everybody in the audience probably ain't catching everything. So right here, it's shown to him that, look, I got the medunetter of a nisba with the ta in front of it twice. So this is how it was rendered. Here go a ta, kim, ah. It's ta, kim, e, still the same thing. Here we go. The same person, that's what that kind of means. The dark one, and when he said the type of name, it was demonstrative pronoun plus an attribute, and the attribute being a physical quality. So here we see they made a nisba out of the term, the root kim, put a reed leaf on it, you know what I'm saying? And they make kimi, the black one, or one associated to darkness. And the ta, they really used, he called it a demonstrative pronoun. I guess definite article or demonstrative pronoun. But this is saying the dark one. Would you read and would you read this the same way? No. In the beginning, he told us that it would be Kim with a man behind it if they wanted to say a black person. Y'all got to know that this is a female that I'm showing him. So let's listen.
So I will also say I'm not an expert in personal names, and I'm also not a spelling in. So these are, I think these sources, they seem to be, especially the first one, is coming from an administrative text. So I think there's a few different ways to read this. You could either say it's Ta-Kemi is short for Ta-Kemit. Again, so the black feminine one.
So this would be read the black feminine one. You could say that. First, he's saying not an expert on personal names. Let me note that he's being humble, but Herman Ranker is. That is the expert on personal names. And that's whose work we looking at. So he already saying, I can't say this, don't say what it say, but watch him give us another option.
And then we know it's clearly feminine there because we have the ta instead of a pa. So then Kemi would probably originally have had a feminine ending. But again, this is not Kemeti, but Kemit. So the black female one as opposed to the one that belongs to that which is black.
So this person was the black female one. What do y'all not get about that? Maybe they're going to try to log on to this second part of the sentence.
The other possibility of reading this is ta meaning she of. But again, I think that's too late. That would probably be 10N Kemi for this. But it's also possible that this would mean she of the black one. So maybe she of Osiris, depending on the date of this attestation, though.
Nah. He know that, but I ain't even have to say nothing. He said it right the first time, but he got to keep it out there right so that he said, well, I gave him the other option that y'all told me to give him. Wonderful. Trust me, these answers are just, I can't wait. So now we got just another attestation, and over here, this is how many. So I didn't even have to go over this one with him because that would have been antagonizing. Like, all right, what does this mean? He just told us the female would not. This is what he said he never seen instances of, remember? Because he said it would have a man behind it. Let me show people again. So they could keep up and they don't know that I showed them that shit. Now look, see, this is what he described particularly. Now, if you want to be fair, you could take the T off of it because he kind of just said it to be a Kim with the man, right? And he talked about abstract T's. Now look, this is the masculine form. When we talk about the cows, we discuss how it don't always have to have a determinative. But here's something more to know. In personal names, it really don't need the determinative. If this is just your name, this is just your name. How I know? Because I prove it with the text that I put on the screen. Look, these are the renditions of how Herman Ranker found it on all the people who called themselves Kim that he found. And none of them, do any of these have a determinative after it?
No.
Why don't they? It's because they're a personal name. So now look, one of them just wrote their name just with the Kim glyph. Right? One of them wrote it with the Kim glyph and the M. So in the beginning of the video, for anyone who puzzled, when he was like, he never seen no instances of this, here go 25 instances of it right on the screen. And it's corroborated by an expert in the field, Herman Ranker. Right? And so this is why I was not going to be antagonistic and say, okay, what this mean? I said, let's skip over this one. Watch. Because
yeah, but when he seen that, he just was like, he put his face, you know how you just, when you say, he gonna put his hand right there and look at that shit. And it's just like, man, look at it. And you know what? This is the first time me understanding you explaining this without the determinative. And now that I know that you can spell this in a multitude of ways, and I'm looking at this is beautiful. Like, so with the A on the back of it, that's for, those are females? Is that an E? You know what I'm saying?
It's
With the arm.
It's still representing what the reed leaves is representing.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So that's why I was just asking. Go ahead, man. Do your thing, bro.
So watch it. Now, so this is for anybody who thought, okay, you just got to be right in discourse. I don't want to be over aggressive in a scholarly discourse. That ain't a debate, right? And even in a debate that's scholarly, I don't want to be that.
She of Osiris, depending on.
So he said it could probably mean she of Osiris, but he ain't gonna stick with that. Let me see.
On the date of this attestation, though.
Wonderful. Trust me, these answers are just, I can't wait. So now we got just another attestation, and over here, this is how many times he found people calling themselves Kim on different stelae all over the place. And again, he used this name as a physical quality. I don't think there's not any reason to, I mean, Egypt wasn't called Kim. And so that right there is going to be a problem for people who want to make this refer back to, oh, this means one of Egypt. And so we can keep going. Now, these are females. Yeah, you feel me? Like, what
right, yeah.
I don't need no commentary on that, really. I mean, because it's going to be, I'm being antagonistic. But even on this one, I just wanted to breeze by it. But you're saying we never seen them. This is the feminine versions. And we can click into each of these and see exactly where they were. These were people calling themselves Kim that he had not seen any of this. Use the term Kemet as the dark one, physical qualities. And so I'm really only showing you this because when I show my audience, they act like I'm making things up or scamming or, can't really get these attestations qualified or perused by a person with credentials.
The one thing I'd say, so the only thing that I'd say is that just keep in mind that Chem also, I just saw it go past in a slide, but that Chem can also mean to be complete. So a lot of times it's hard to say whether the meaning, especially in a personal name, is based on, from the word black or based from the word to be complete.
Yeah, and so we've been getting to the bottom of that one too. One of my grammarians challenged me to find a Kim with the hair glyph to settle that score, and we found it in the name of a person called Kimu. And we also found it in Osiris Kimi. We have an attestation with the hair glyph, which lets us know that they want us to refer back to the color in that instance. And so I appreciate that. So I don't want to stop this all day, so I just want to.
Man, you is fucking crazy. Yo, you slid right past it too.
What?
It was like a glimpse. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? You just kept on going. This is crazy. Yeah, when you understand what you actually doing. This is wild, bro.
It's cool, man. I don't know. What you got? Where you at, Reggie?
Well, I'm it's all right to add another example. It's always all right. and certainly in the personal names that might be complete, but in hermit ranks, the preponderance is that most of them are in fact meaning the dark one or the black one. So the preponderance of the cases in hermit rank don't go to complete, yet we can say that there may be a few, but the majority is the dark one and the black one. So I would it would have been a little antagonistic to him, but it would have been a good point to bring out the fact that, well, the majority of them, they are talking about black people or dark people, right? Or yeah, I'll stop.
Yeah, you're right. And I tried to so gently make the point for anyone who's gonna be like, why he didn't show him. So the 25 attestation. So if people don't understand, I'm gonna show them again. Remember what he said it would look like? Because we read the meta nature, so people ain't getting everything. When he gave his description in the beginning, he said it would be the Kim glyph and a man. Mm-hmm. Now go into the video to what I showed, and you gotta look to the right. Everybody ain't really gonna peak game. So when we go to that part, when we finally get to that, look. There go your Kim glyphs. But the man, he knows I know, and I'm gonna put y'all up on game too. This is now being used as a personal noun. Like John, or Reggie. So you don't have to put, when you talking about a man, you don't have to always put a man unless it's generic and you saying a operation, a facet of a man. But if it's just a man, you ain't got to put that. Go look at all the kings' names where you ain't never seen a man next to it. And so in the instance, since this is a personal pronoun for people, for like they name, he know right there that all the renditions that we never seen is listed right here. And so, but yeah, anyway. I wanted to go back to this part and say something. Now, Brother James.
Right.
Now, you be in the back chat, we be in the back chat, banging out and learning the meta nature. Right? We be learning. I'll be all the way humble because I don't like to act like I know everything, and I look at everything from different perspectives. Maybe somebody reading it a different way that'll render a better reading than I do. But when we come here, all the stuff that we was talking about, like if we was in the jiu-jitsu gym and we be showing each other moves and shit, all I just did was just use all the moves we was using in the back chat, dealing with Chris and everything, just to read this out in English. Our latest skill has been like, no, reading in English. That's our latest challenge, right? Mm-hmm. But if we go through this one slow, we gonna be right at all the shit we just been talking about. So when I seen it, I'm like, oh, when I seen it, I made the slide. But when I seen this in the book to make the slide, notice that this is starting with Patah, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
What form this starting with?
You mean what form?
No, I said Patah. I don't know if you, because me and Patah, maybe you built on this yet. But I don't know if
Patah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what's that? What's this starting with?
Sejm N.
Sejm NF, right? Is the form. So then what this know that we should stay in English? If we know that this word means to fetch or to bring back something, what we gonna say in this? Sejm NF lets us know that it's what's the past and what? Perfect. Past perfect. So what did he do, Shimsu?
Completed action.
I have brought that. So when I start reading and listen to what I'm doing in my head.
Context again of kind of where the delta.
It's not my first time reading it, but I'm in front of an expert.
Delta falls into of where the border, and then he says,
"Hold on, I want to."
And
my bad.
But in my mind, it's not certain.
Yeah, I feel you. And in my limited research, when I looked up the silk, I can't find nothing positive about it. So this would be a better I mean, just to elaborate on that, and then we'll talk completely about attestations of the Nile silt or anything that attests to Kemet actually meaning like that. Like this text does multiple things. Because if we look, well, we can read it from the beginning where he's bringing back hands, and then one gave to him gold of a particular type. I don't know what Kemet. I don't know what the gold of Kemet, but with him. So he put it on. So Chris had told me this before, and I just messed up reading it live. On both arms, it appears. You see, so we know what him means to repeat, y'all. So when I read it live, I said, I thought this meant he repeated putting it on his arms, but he straightened me out.
So basically, yeah. So this is a very famous text, and you're reading it quite expertly, which is very. I would say again, you're not an average layperson. So
they took that little quote that I'm gonna have forever. Shout out to Jonathan Winterman. They took that quote and act like I messed that up. They said you was an average layperson.
You're not an average layperson, right? That's understanding English, right? He could have said, I don't know why he said layperson. He could have said that you're not an average, degreed person. I don't know why he said layperson. Because I don't know that because, okay, so you were speaking to someone, an indigenous person who knows his language. Would you call that indigenous person who knows his language a layperson? I don't know that, but he said that, and I there's no reason to go back and forth, but the community misinterprets what he says. It's
they're
already
like, you a different type of a lay person. That's how they took that. You feel
what they want to marginalize you to a lay person, and at the same time you're showing expertise in something that he does not.
But he said you're not one. See,
right? You're not
they
one.
just puzzled.
Can I speak? Can I say something?
You got the floor.
All right. And I don't want to keep, because I'm gonna let y'all know I'm definitely the A side, right? But and working in these environments, and I don't want to keep saying, I don't want to get cut off and act like I'm defending Jonathan Winterman, Dr. Jonathan Winterman.
We're not attacking him, but keep going.
No, right, but I don't. And I want to give him. I want to give him his respect as far as the academic, him going through the system. Anybody, I don't care who you are, black or white, Chinese or whatever, if you got your PhD, and you would demand that, to be called doctor, I respect that. Whether it's I can't think of her name right now. But I would just say that by saying that, when you're on the spot and it's kind of ad lib in an interview, sometimes we can't always think of the right words to say. And we try to stay, try to be as politically correct. And we definitely gave you and him accolades on how real y'all's conversation was. So I wouldn't read like too much into the
are you talking about me? Because that was a 100% compliment to me.
No, he's just talking about just the term, the lay term, I believe. Right?
No, I understood what you said.
I have to stop. I have to stop you. The issue is
let's not do this.
I have to stop you because the premise that you're making is not correct. The premise is not.
Why you don't say that? See, we shouldn't do this, Reggie.
Because I'm going to explain it.
Let's do this on the dojo.
Because I'm going to explain it.
Let's do this in the dojo.
No, I'm just generally going to explain.
Let's not do this live. No, let's not do this live.
I'm doing it live.
Okay, well, go ahead. Well, okay, then.
All right, so I want to explain it.
Let me close my door in my office.
Why are you stopping me from explaining it?
Just because you stopped me, I wasn't finished with my thought. Because I also was trying to speak on the fact when he said earlier, when we stopped and said, why did he say what he said? And I said, Well, I think he was just saying it from an educational space because he's not sitting around all day like we do. Look, they might be looking for themselves in the glyphs, and we might be looking for ourselves in the glyphs to explain certain things. And I don't think he's looking at Chem to see blackness all day long, like we are, or like we have. And we don't just look at blackness; we look at other things, and that's all I was trying to explain. And I don't think we need to just I think it's a good it's a good conversation and it's a good interview that doesn't have to be picked apart from a racial standpoint.
Okay,
So now you have
I got your premise. I got your premise. I need to respond. The question is not anything to do with what he said to Jonathan Smash. The question is how that was weaponized outside of the conversation. How it was weaponized out of the conversation is when Smash showed that he was really reading the glyphs very well, and the expert gave him a compliment, and other people outside of this discussion weaponized it to say that Smash is saying something other than what he did. The expert complimented Jonathan Owens. So that's not even worthy of a debate. That is the fact that other people who haven't shown any expertise in the subject could never make a sophisticated argument that Jonathan made, right? But all they can do is react to it, right? So I have nothing to do with disrespecting you or really disagreeing with you. I'm adding context to the fact that it was weaponized when Jonathan says, look, I'm gonna keep that for life. Somebody who is degreed is saying that I know my area, right? And that's what I'm saying. You have anything to say about what I just said, or we can move on?
I would say we can move on, and I respect what you just said, and yeah, I don't want to attack another faction, sorry, of our community, because I was talking about the whole interview, the first part, not just the second part that we were talking about as far as other people taking their spin on things. But I agree with what you just said.
Great. So I want to add on. So in the other interviews, except for that section where they asked Dr. Rebecca Wang about what does these three versions of Kemet mean, they showed no Medu Neter. So they're talking about things in the abstract, and here we are talking about the actual text. So it's two different types of interviews with expertise, right? So it's not attacking a fraction. It's just simply saying that the group of people that have been interviewing experts, they haven't shown any tools, comprehension of the glyphs.
I have nothing further. Fun dialogue though.
So when we come back to this, I'm just gonna hear it again real quick for the fun of it.
So basically, yeah. So this is a very famous text, and you're reading it quite expertly, which is very. I would say again, you're not an average layperson. So
let's just talk about that, not on me, but on Chris, who's been the latest person helping me out on the fights that I done had with Wu Jahu and the Sar, with Brother Reggie, with I had to bring up your name in this interview, Reggie. And I said, yo, you need to look at Reggie Marbury's work.
That's true. Thank you.
You feel me? And we doing this on our own, right? And to not have somebody say, yo, you wasted my time, this interview, I don't know why I chose this interview. Some dude just hit me with an email and I want to hurry up and get up out of here. But instead to see him lightweight, happy to have this discussion, and saying I ain't no sucker at it, that's like going to the hoop court in a city and don't nobody know you and you put in that work and they like, oh, he's a baller. You're not in the NBA, but everybody like, oh no, this dude right there, he gonna dump 40. That's equivalent to that. Go ahead.
Furthermore, this is not a case where the person, the expert, is being forced to repeat themselves, right? So I've seen some interviews where the experts had to say the Black City, right, and repeat themselves. Or another one where the expert says, you people are not getting it, and rolled their eyes, right, in front, and became a little impatient while they were trying to be patient. So that is not this type of conversation. This is a fully engaged conversation of passing back and forth ideas. And in this case, Jonathan Owens is expertly ready with many cases, and also not trying to abuse the fact that he is talking to the person. So he's not trying to make himself any bigger than what he is. He's basically saying, okay, what about this case? And what about this case? And what about this case? Right? Instead of the other interview where people are using words that they can't write or read in the Medu Neter. Right? And that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
So let's go back over this again so everybody could get the context of what me and him was talking about. Because I'm like, yeah, so then he brought back hands, and then one gave to me, or, you know what I'm saying, gold of valor. And he said it was repeated multiple times, not on both arms. And then then fighting broke out, because you can't just keep saying one when you see that two. But so it's like, and then you see the hair, that's fighting breaking out in. Now, this is why I want people to listen to what he's saying. Because remember the brothers on Dr. Yosef Ben Levi told us that it meant the Black City. And now, there's a demonstrative here that it could be this or that. And if it's a definite article, because they're both saying the same way, it could be the. But I threw out land at first, but I made sure I didn't finish my sentence without letting him know that this could possibly be the definite article. And he's not even going to entertain the ta for land. He's just going to say, yeah, it seems to be demonstrative. Now, if it's demonstrative, it's going to say this or that. So that would say this Egypt. That don't make no sense. Or that Egypt. That don't make no sense. But what do make sense? This Black City. See? Or this Black community. But Black City works better because the word for city is at the end of this text. And he says this is the type of word for city that you're not, this demi word is the type of word for city that's going to refer, this is another word that say this, pen. So it's this city. So now if they call Kemet a demi, it ain't no big ass hole all Egypt. But he's giving me an explanation saying, no, they're not talking about this city right here. As the text continues, we'll see they're talking about south of Avaris. And this city is referring to Avaris there because he's saying they would not refer back to their own location as this city. But notice why would it say the Egypt, this Egypt? None of that makes sense. The better translation in this instance possibly would be this black city. But let's listen to his take on that.
So that I think that's very clear. Yeah, so this is in the context of again, it's in the context again of kind of where the delta falls into Kemet, which is uncertain for me. And this is also from a period of I think you also passed on a reference to the Kamos.
Damn, that was a bomb. We didn't even hear it. Did y'all hear that? That snuck past everybody.
Let me hear it again.
He said that and beat the brakes off him without even me noticing. I didn't even notice it till now. Listen to what he said.
I think that's very clear. Yeah, so this is in the context of again, it's in the context again of kind of where the delta falls into Kemet.
Where the delta falls into Kemet. So the delta ain't in Kemet. But this is in the context of where the delta falls into Kemet.
Is he using Kemet as a city, or is he using Kemet as the whole land?
Now I'm arguing to him that it might be a city in this instance, and he's in agreement by that statement, but he's going to say a few different things. Check this out.
Which is uncertain for me. And this is also from a period of, I think you also passed on a reference to the Kamosa stela. So not only is kind of like, the static concept of where the border of Kemet was to the north of concern here, but it's also during a period of foreign conquest when these terms might also be under renegotiation.
Hold on. Y'all hear all this? He's saying where the border of Kemet is to the north.
Yes. But he said in question.
I know. So that means all that stuff up in the north, he basically said what they trying to see. First is in the context of where the delta falls into Kemet.
So hold on, let me just think about this. Is he saying is he parsing right with a delta and saying that ain't never been Kemet?
That he's saying in this text it ain't. Because when we talk further, he's going to say this town that they talk about is a forest. So I say fighting broke out in. See, we can read this two different ways, and that's why I wanted to ask him about the agreements and all that stuff. Because if fighting broke out in, we're going to read it multiple ways. So, and look which one works the best. Fighting broke out in this Egypt, south. So in this South Egypt, or in this Egypt south of this city. Right? That don't really make no sense. Right? And so he's going to show that too. So now fighting broke out in this black city south of this city. See? That makes sense. Because you got to use this demonstrative. You ain't saying this Egypt. And furthermore, we got south after this. But he's telling me, no, this is south. This goes together, which would make perfect sense. This would be the adjective modifying Kemet to where we say South Kemet. But look, you wouldn't have a genitive after that. South Kemet of this city don't make sense. It's south of this city. So therefore, fighting broke out in this Egypt. Fighting broke out in this Kemet. No, fighting broke out in this black city, south of this city.
This demi could it also mean south of this location?
It could be a border, it could be a harbor, but in this instance is kind of referring to a city. Let's listen to what he say. Watch.
This place.
So
what I'm saying
it's
is
even.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that because of the canal, that piece of land section, could that demi be south of this location, right? Even though it's a demi, but it's implied because I'm not saying that this demi is not specified as a location.
They didn't put an 049 on it.
Yeah, that's what threw me off, man. So I'm like, I don't know.
But the word means a village. That's why. It's like small, and it's probably smaller than the 049. So they wasn't referring to the Avaris like nothing that was major.
You talking about that thing with the single stroke up and over the that's
right
the position
right here.
Yeah, okay.
So this Demi is like this piece of land or this area.
So since we on Demi, I'm about to pull it up for people watching. And to do that, I'm gonna go DMI in the dictionary, right? And so we're gonna look at some of the things. Anybody could say, no, one of the ones you sure fit better. It's not like I'm being an authoritarian, but this is the way that it seems.
Excuse me, I walked away for a minute. What I missed? Where we at? I stepped away for about 2 minutes.
We're looking for Demi right now.
Okay.
And this is a battleground admiral. This person who is speaking is actually talking about the fight. So he's a battleground. He's reporting. He's a reporter.
Yep, he's an admiral.
Yes.
Okay, so now I see what it looked like in the TLA or whatever.
These demis do got town determinatives like Reggie said, and look at this one just say vicinity. But now let's go down to this one. This one say town and village as well. So that means we qualified. You see. And translate.
Yeah, I see it. It's right there. That's the exact way they wrote it too.
Right here.
Damn, you missed. Okay.
Right
Yeah. Well, no, that got the actual town.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I messed it up somehow, but we have seen it. Let me see if I can
get to it. So there it goes right there, vicinity.
Oh, vicinity. Okay, what are you looking at on the YouTube or the
I'm looking at the YouTube. Let me go.
I lost it. There go one right there, but it got the 10. I think I gotta go down more.
You just had it, bro.
It's about to pop back up. I just pressed the button.
It's right there.
Village,
Stop.
but it got the 049. There it go right there. There it go. See, every time I find it, it changed pages. So it's on the bottom of this next page. Let me go back. Watch. See, there it go. Where it's gonna be at the bottom. Let me make it smaller. There we go. Right down here. Y'all see it?
Yeah, the second from the last one.
Yeah, it got the land determinative, and it's still town or village. But you got one that's vicinity.
Oh look, that got an I after a Y. No, that's an I.
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. That's weak. It can fall off. But that's the I in Demi. Basically, it's just behind the determinative now, right now.
It said town too.
So we could say south of this vicinity. Okay, that's fine. But the question is,
that right there.
The big anomaly is this Egypt.
Right.
They wasn't saying fighting broke out south of this Egypt.
So that would be Kemet, right?
That would mean the fighting broke out in Nubia. See?
Oh, that's really wild.
Now listen to what he said.
Extra complicated here, but what this is saying is essentially he's going to the Hyksos capital of Avaris, which we know is in the Delta.
Let's stop. Now you know he's an expert, because it don't say none of that on the screen, and everything he say is true. So I'm like, okay, that's how you do somebody. You talk about parts of the text that you already familiar with that ain't on the screen, then they just gotta know you fucking with it. You feel what I'm saying? But let's keep going.
And basically he's fighting, and then he says during the course of this fighting he took a hand, and then you're absolutely quite correct. Then one gave to me gold of Kemet, which means essentially gold of valor. So be gold because I was particularly brave, I was particularly courageous. And wehem as a repeating occasion. So this is another time that he was given the gold.
So it's not on both arms. I thought repeating and then the arm determinative mean he put the gold on both my arms. But he did it multiple times. Multiple times,
yeah. I think if he put it on both arms, he would be very keen to tell you that he had it on both arms, that there was so much, and they would have really emphasized that. The arm here can also mean like an occasion or kind of a matter. So like a repeating of this thing that happened. And then it says, and then one was fighting in this Egypt, or this southern Egypt.
Yo, he did it. Wow, that
But
was
watch,
incredible.
he gonna speak on it because he know we knowing. He ain't gonna let that slide. So watch this.
Egypt south of this town. So again, this means that there was fighting now south of in Egypt. So what he considers to be Egypt, south of Avaris.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So hold on. That don't really work. He's saying that, so basically in his hypothesis, when Kamos now was fighting for Avaris, they didn't see Avaris as part of Egypt. Nah, they seen it as part of Egypt, but it wasn't part of Kemet. I'm telling you. And they was like, we need to go to the Northland and do what we got to do.
Yeah, his problem is what I did my ASCAC presentation on. He's using this fake term called Egypt, and now it's showing how confusing this fake is.
Yep,
right?
It don't make sense.
Because now you really can't get the vernacular right or to understand what sentences are saying because you're implying a whole country. Instead, Egypt is used as a whole country, that fake term, and not in this particular case. There is maybe one or two locations called Kemet or Kimwe. These are locations, and so he's being jumbled up with his Egyptology speak because he's using the word Egypt, Egyptians, right? Because he's an Egyptologist, and that's what if anybody watched my presentation, that's what my presentation was about. And now we're seeing how the usage of Egypt is causing confusion when we're talking about a location that's south.
But he
right?
actually about to be kind of fair about that, and he's really going to speak on that right now. Watch this.
Where far south, we don't know. It could be, it's clearly that he's locating this in Kemet, but is this now in the valley? Is he saying that specifically this is in the valley, or is it just in a location south of, still in the delta, but south of Avaris, where now we're having Kemet being, the boundaries of Kemet being determined by political control versus by geography? And so this is a question that I don't know.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, I want to ask about this ta here. I'm reading this as ta, and I'm reading this as land. Should this just be... Why did I say land? I think I was playing stupid. I never read that as land, but listen to what I'm saying. Definite article, ta like the or land though.
I think you're quite right to read it to suggest that it's the demonstrative or the...
So he just didn't want to say you was wrong. He said I was quite right to suggest this the demonstrative. A definite article is in that same category of that type of adjective or whatever, but it's demonstrative, meaning that it's pointing something out. This, you can't have a this without a that. So that's what makes the use of this not make no sense. This, if it's fighting that broke out in this Kemet, then where is that Kemet? The other one that why would you say this if there's nothing else to refer to? You see what I'm saying? So the definite article, which this is also a possible choice, it would be the Kemet. That wouldn't make no sense either. So watch, he gonna speak straight to it. Look.
The definite article. Because if it was land, it would have used the actual sign for land, which they pretty consistently do, which is kind of, I'm sure you're familiar with it, the long oval with the 3 dots underneath it. But that being said, it is quite weird to have this or the Egypt. Like that is a weird kind of turn of phrase. And
now, Dr. Joseph Ben Levy gave us an explanation that makes this not weird. The only reason why you're going to say this is under what Reggie teaches. This black city. Because it's not the only black city, but it's this one. And they use a demonstrative to say this. This black community south of this town, south of this other town, south of this village of Varus. that's a consideration and a hypothesis that could work with the grammar. I didn't want to argue it all the way out. I wanted to learn, but
Right.
I want to hear from y'all.
No, I think that your thinking is right to see the cases, right, and to bring the case like you're doing right now back to us, because this is actually a master class. This is really a master class where we're looking at the actual words of an admiral, right, who fought, right, and we are seeing his intimate description of how he is talking about what has happened, and it has volumes in study because of this Kemet, this black city, right? This I don't know why he just doesn't say this Kemet, right? He could at least said that instead of saying this Egypt, right? Because he knew right then and there he messed up. But this is an excellent case that you got to give Smash credit for bringing this case on, because it links up with a lot of other scholars like Joseph Ben Levi, like Alexandra Nibby, to talk about that the way they teach this Egyptology teaches Egypt is wrong because you can't see the nuances. Then when the nuances come, you have to ask people to forget everything else that you said and make this particular case.
Well,
But
be fair. Let's be fair.
I'm fair.
No, you're being fair. But I'm saying let's be fair to this to prove it's wrong. Look, we're going to consider that the admiral was saying south of this Egypt. That wouldn't have made, that don't make no sense to him. If he was standing in some place and he had fighting in Avaris, why would he say fighting broke up south of this Egypt? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that right there just got to be eliminated. Like, who that makes sense to?
Right. That's why this is a master class, because he's reading it on a fly and he knows that you're looking, right? He knows that you know enough about the language, right? And he was actually being fair to you, because he just didn't be cocky and point out a possible error. He's looking at it really, even though he says it's a famous, and he's looked at it, he's never looked at it in the context of this Kemet south of this location.
Mm-hmm.
He never looked at it like, he may never have looked at it like that. Otherwise, he would have been clearer, but you can see that he's analyzing.
Shout out to Sad Breeze. I see your boy. You back off the road. Shout out to you. I just was coming back from, had to go to DMV that day, so I was suited and booted. Nah. But, yeah, so this is an interesting one, and let's continue.
And why that is chosen, I'm not sure. Maybe it's to distinguish this new location from the location that he was previously talking about.
See, that's what I'm saying, because he knows the grammar. If you're going to use a this or it got to be a that, right? And so he's saying, why are they saying this Egypt? I don't know. Maybe it's to distinguish this from the other location. Nah. How about it say this black community? And it just worked. How about this black city? Then it just all worked. Because that would be south of Avaris too.
It's also unclear to me at this point whether ta definitely means the. In certain dialects and in certain kind of, in late Egyptian, it would, but this is written in Middle Egyptian where it might mean this or that.
So now he threw me an alley-oop. Because the first thing I said was, it was the definite article, the. But he said he deferred to the demonstrative, this or that. And then he threw me an alley-oop at the end, saying it could be the. But this ain't late Egyptian.
So it's, again, unclear to me.
That's
Okay,
respect. That's something that we are not afforded on the other channels. Respect. But an Egyptologist, an expert, right? Not just a Egyptologist by name, one who can actually read the glyphs and demonstrating it, right? Is giving respect So it would be all right for Smash to say that this Egyptologist, right, this PhD, this professor, right, respects our work, the work that we do.
Yeah, because this is what I don't have anyone who can answer these type of questions but you. And so
And Chris,
to
maybe.
Demi Pen refers back to Kemet as a city and not another place. See, I'm right here, y'all, and we're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna prove it with the grammar, but I just couldn't argue. Watch this. And so I could pull up the rest. See, you're not gonna say the South belonging to the city. That don't make no sense, y'all. You can't do that. This is the indirect genitive, meaning that we know about this and we talked about it. Now it becomes a possessive adjective, which is a genitival adjective saying whatever noun behind it owns what's in front of it. So you think this city owns the South? That don't make no sense. So that would mean in order for this to actually work, this has to be a noun phrase here. This has to be Kemet Resut. And it says Kemet, that'll be South Kemet, right? However we want to say it, this is just a hypothesis. It would be South Kemet belonging to this city. So that's what I'm saying. In the south part of Egypt, you feel me? Belonging to this city. That's calling Egypt a city. Here it appears Kemet is a city. I don't know what's going on. But no, he explained it right, and he had a very good argument. Don't get it twisted. This is like the after party where I'm just giving my thoughts the way that I think them. But I don't think anything I'm saying disqualifies what he was showing me about this. I actually like his take on it because it lets me know how it would be argued if I maintained my contentions. You know. What's up? I see two new people.
Brother Smash, big up to everybody on the panel.
Peace.
Brother Smash, first, I'm not staying long. I must commend you. I'm not disrespecting the level of professionalism, what I'm saying. I'm just letting the world know that how I feel. That this was a professional conversation. You conducted it wonderfully. It was a wonderful discussion. It's about 2 to 3 levels above my head. I'll have to watch it 2 or 3 times to have some kind of understanding. But the professionalism was there. Nobody can say that you don't know how to bring it and bring good conversation with academics. It was good. But earlier I heard you say something like, I heard you said Egypt, the formation of Egypt was by black people, early Egypt. You're not disregarding that the complexion of the people might change over time. But what you're saying is that the migration from the geographical south with the language, the culture, and certain behavioral practices indicated that it was the people from the south who brought Egypt to what Egypt was. Am I wrong?
Thank you for everything you said. Yeah, I said that, and I said that to Dr. Jonathan Winneman in a few words. What I said was, yeah, I don't have nothing wrong with people who argue about the multiplicity of the multi-ethnicity of ancient Egypt in later times. But when we talk about the founding civilizations, I said I think they would look more like a community from the interior of Africa. And I pointed out, that's when we start talking about cattle pastoralism. But then I pointed out that we understand that Egypt was a marketplace that was on these confluence areas, but there had to be someone who set up the market, who had these beseech for items that people from long and wide said, look, let's go there. They got this. You don't just know that on general principle. Somebody with the items got to go out first, or you just accidentally wandered in there and found out that they had precious items. So the people who set up those markets that everybody beseech for, I still maintain, look just like some people from the interior of Africa.
I will agree with that. The reason why I agree with that, I stole this from Reggie. When Reggie and I had a conversation, Reggie showed me the roots of the language, right? Roger showed me where the language came from, where the writings came from. And you know where it came from. It came from the interior and it went upward. My thing is that since then, what I've clarified myself is that black men went up, created Egypt, and interbreeded. And the complexion changed over generations. We know that complexion changed over generations of interbreeding. They went up north, people was up north, they started the culture, they started what we know today as Egypt, and they met people up there from all different cultures. And it was like NFL draft day. Reggie might not agree with me on that, but it was like NFL draft day. After a while, some of the statuette shows it, but people might not agree with that. But it's black people bring the culture up north, found very fertile land, and build one of the most powerful civilization that ever existed. But the interbreeding.
I agree with you. I think that we're making, because of white supremacy and racism, we're making a big deal. All those groups of people were mixed. They had light and dark complexions, right? So we're making because of our lack of knowledge, a stark contrast between peoples. Peoples in the sun by Glover's law have to have melanin in their skin. So that these are all brown people. It's just the white supremacists, an early Egyptologist created a stark line that we unfortunately find ourselves into. So I agree. And so it was NFL draft or something like that. At some point, they picked a particular person that looked a particular way. And then the Egyptologists, what they do is they make the Heisman Trophy after that particular person, right? And not all the other people. Right.
So then what is the conversation that we're having in the community? People denying that it's black people went up geographical north and started the civilization known as Egypt. There's no argument to that, because you have proven that years ago that the language and the writing where it came from. You proved that. And where it came from, those people had to be darker pigmented people.
Well, I agree. See, this is where the problem is. Smash and the professor, right? They're not dealing with social constructs. They're simply dealing with the language, right? Most of the time, we are only really dealing with the language and describing populations, right? Population groups and clines and populations. The other group is bringing white supremacy in and these type of things, making different arguments. But in this whole conversation, right, we are just simply talking about language, and Stupid's are right in the sense that we know where the language developed from. We see it in the southern parts, right? Now the question is, us calling those people black people. So the problem is breaking white supremacy is now black means good, but black can never mean good. Black has to mean bad or less than. But now when we show that black means good, right, then it's a problem.
All right, we're not going to use the word black anymore. I'm going to use darker pigmented people. People darker pigmented. I'm not going to use black. Since black is a bad word for many people, you have darker pigmented people and lighter pigmented people and no pigmented people.
Yeah, but the language doesn't say that. That's the only problem with what you're saying, is that the language of ancient Egypt, of this place they call ancient Egypt, doesn't do that. The language, yes.
Yeah, you're right. The language just used the word for the darkest.
Can I ask a question? Is there any love letters? Because if we could find love letters written in ancient Egyptian,
I'm gonna bring them up for you.
Because if you get the love letters, how people describe the mate in early Egypt, will tell you how they see themselves.
But they didn't
I'd
say.
Love to see they didn't say it in the love letters.
In the love letters, they didn't say. They used Kim in the love letters, but they wasn't talking about. They wasn't talking about their skin. They was talking about her hair. But they say they used Kim for her hair in that instance. It was blacker than the black of night, as describing her beauty. We will get to that, but just real quick, I want to stay on what we was doing real quick. Now, our good. Let's see where we at. Hold up, I'm looking for the video. Oh, it's right here. I had the Jonathan Winterman video too. Oh, it's right here. Now, at this point, this is where he held his strongest contention about this not saying black people. But I will maintain my argument, and this is supported by so what he's doing here is reviewing a quote from my next book given to me by a linguist. So you could call this live peer review, right? Can't get past it, right?
I'll be back. I'll be back. Sorry. Thanks.
Okay. Now right here we got brother. Well, we got a linguist basically telling us what he thought, and he came to the conclusion that this said the black ones right here because of the grammar and everything. And he disagrees with that finding, but he agrees with the first part of this. Now, on the premise that he said, in this Reconstruction, I want to break it down to everybody what we're looking at. 5 different statements of the same sentence, written different ways. Excuse me. So it basically says, Haka enek kemet. This one says, Haka enek kemet. Y'all see the 049 determinative? Then we got tepiu ta. And if you read what the scholar wrote to me, he says, 2 versions of the spell 189G of the coffin text clearly read Haka enek kemet tepiu ta, and that can be translated, you have ruled Egypt, which are on the earth. So y'all know that's bad grammar already. You have ruled Egypt, which are on the earth. He goes on to say, which is inconsistent as far as number and agreement is concerned. Basically, he's supposed to be is or whatever. If one translate, go ahead.
Questions, man. So they're translating Egypt. See, this is my problem with the word Egypt. So they're translating Egypt back to Kemet. Egypt should translate it right back to the word Kemet, correct?
That is the standard in Egyptology.
And so can we say that's wrong? Because I clearly say.
Well, that's exactly what the whole everything we talking about is really about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. But if you're a PhD and you're arguing that Egypt isn't translated correctly, you have to use the term in order to demonstrate it.
Facts.
So this is a demonstration of why it's not translated correctly. That's what I'm saying. And Jonathan Winterman, does not agree with the stance of this linguist that I'm going to use in my next book. So we see 2 versions of the spell 189 of coffin text clearly read Haka enek kemet tepiuta, which can be translated, you have ruled Egypt, which are on the earth. Now, do that make sense to y'all? You have ruled Egypt, which are on the earth. Egypt ain't supposed to be a which are, right? So he said, exactly, he's saying this is inconsistent as far as number and agreement is concerned. If one translate Kemet as Egyptians rather than Egypt, the plural agreement of the phrase tepiu, because tepiu is plural, so something else in the sentence got to agree with it, is consistent with that of Kemet as a plural noun. This interpretation is consistent with that of other Lucanary or Lacanary versions of the spell, whose reconstruction appear to have meant to be read Haka in ek Kim-u, not Kemet. Kim-u tepiu ta. In this case, the reference to Egyptians, in quotes, by the way, quote unquote, rather than Egypt is more explicit. Since the word for Egyptians, Kim-u, is directly derived from a root Kim rather than the word Kemet. So I hope we follow now. I heard somebody was about to get a word.
Is he trying to say they're not talking about the land, they're talking about the people?
Yeah, and he's saying that the grammar is proving it. And these other three renditions that's broken up prove it too.
And not only that, man, I guarantee you they're talking about the Nile Delta.
Well, this text isn't talking about the Nile Delta, but how could you guarantee me that?
Because for the most part, whenever they're referencing the Kemet, there it's always in the Nile Delta.
I think you might be what you might be saying might be correct for the last slide I was analyzing, but for this one it'll be incorrect. The last one we was talking about when we was talking about the South City and stuff. Yeah, that would make sense. Even the scholar said they was trying to see where the delta flowed into Kemet. That's what he said. But for this text, that wouldn't ring true, particularly because say this is like somebody writing the same sentence 5 times in different ways, right? Now, what we're questioning is the scholar proposes that in this reconstruction here, we would have something that would constitute this to match the agreement of, because there's no agreement here. There got to be some plural agreement. Agreement is when nouns and adjectives have the same gender and number, right? And that is a standard facet of certain languages. And so if there's no agreement, that's why we translating it like you have ruled Egypt, because Egypt, we're calling that one thing. And then we say which are is the way that we refer to plural things. So this don't make no sense. You have ruled Egypt, which are on the earth. Egypt are on the earth? Yeah. And so that's it don't make sense. And so that rendering, we gotta render Egypt plural in English to make this make sense. It gotta be a body of people too, because which are on the earth. So this would go, you have ruled Egyptians, which are on the earth. But this is not what it's saying. And if we look at the root that it's coming from, they didn't say Kemet. It's being argued, since we got reconstructions here, it's being argued against by Jonathan Winterman that this says Kimu. And the scholar who sent me this text says that it does say Kimu. Now let's look at it with our own knowledge, and we're going to look at the book. And anybody, you don't have to know Medu Neter to do this. So don't be feeling like the part of the show that we're going into, you couldn't just say what you think. So let's just see. The reason I'm gonna show you the reasons why, because there's people around you right now that read Medu Neter first. So anything you want to know, if you want to know, you can ask. But just what we're about to see doesn't take us to know the language. And it's the way that reconstructions are formed. Now, one thing that we notice is, here's the text in the book. We got 5 different versions of the same sentence, right? So let's not even be let's act like we're playing a game at the house that's like a puzzle game or something. This sentence we know is fully constructed, correct? This sentence we know is fully constructed. How do we know? Because these lines, these diagonal lines, represents portions of the text that are not there or are broken off. You see what I mean? They can't really see them. So right here, they can see some of it, but it's still broken off. So if we know that these are all the same sentence, what's my name? Eddie, what do you think is in this portion right here? Elise, what do you think is at the beginning of this portion right here? You don't have to say everything.
A foreign determinative.
Why you say a foreign determinative?
Because I see the throw stick at the top of all.
Oh yeah, you're right, but that's not a foreign determinative. That is the haka.
Haka. Okay.
So you would think that is a haka in this first position too, correct?
For sure.
With a Q behind, and everybody else looking, if they understand that this first this staff and this little triangle thing represents the word haka with an A after it, then we all would think, even down to the A, that in that section, Hakai probably took up to right about there. You see what I mean?
Right.
Now, let's keep going. First, we got to keep comparing the ones that are fully constructed. After the A in Hakai, in this one, we see Enek, right? NK. But when we come to this one, we see a papyrus roll. So now we got a conflict. What do we think was after the A in this column? Do we think it was a papyrus roll, or did we think it just was an Enek like this one? After the A in this one that we're reconstructing, what do you use? What is the tool we use here?
Well, what I would use is the length of how far down this goes, and think that they would probably have added that papyrus. That papyrus roll in this one, in this particular one.
That would be good, but that ain't scientific.
Okay. So the end for sure.
Scientifically, we got to use statistics.
Yeah, statistically, they would use the papyrus roll.
So we got how many renditions up here do we have?
We got 5. Right?
How many of them can we see? What was after?
So we 50-50.
Well, hold on. How many of them exactly? So how many? Well, I mean, not really though. Let's get close. How many of them can we see? What's after the A? 4 of them, right?
Right.
Now, how many out of that 4 got the papyrus roll?
2.
So
how many? But look, the other 2 are in opposition because these 2 are unique to themselves. This one has a man under the A, and this one has an N.
I didn't even. That was deep. I missed that.
So if you had to choose now, just statistically, what would you think?
I'm gonna go papyrus roll base.
Possibly. It's possibly one.
The papyrus roll would be after the A bird.
But now we're not gonna only stop on statistics.
What we looking at?
Because we're not gonna only stop on that stat. We also got to consider the other 2 renditions are unique.
Right.
So what if this was a unique rendition? It would be more unique renditions than it would actually be renditions with papyrus rolls. You see what I'm saying? So then you're going to scholastically go into your whatever and figure out how you come up with your reconstruction. But right now, we could say, we can't say, I'm going to say that it's possibly a papyrus roll here, right? I'm just gonna say that.
Now, hold on. Is the seated man? He's a wise person. So is that papyrus roll? Is that kind of in the same position as Because it's in the same position as that seated man. Yeah, I know he represents wisdom. So would the papyrus roll represent some type of knowledge or something, right?
So in this instance, this seated man with the beard doesn't necessarily represent wisdom, so to speak, as much as divinity. And so this is why I didn't get to talk to this part with Jonathan Winterman, but I would have loved to, because this is what kind of kills it. Now, first and foremost, we know Hakai is not even the biggest name for a ruler. Like Hakai, you're not on the top of the totem pole. You just like a ruler. You could be Hakai of different foreign lands. You should also, if you're a Hakai, you might be the super ruler. They might call you Hakai if you want to take that name. Some did. But what we're saying is, it definitely ain't a god. It definitely don't really got nothing to do with, you ain't calling yourself divine normally when you say Hakai. Yet what we find after this Hakai is a determinative for divinity.
So is that 041?
I don't know which one this is. If you called it out, you might be right. Is it this? No, it's a seated man, so it's not an O. No, it's not an O. Yeah, it's not an O.
A41, I'm sorry. A41.
It might be. If you see a beard on it and it looks like divinity, it possibly is. But
it says king. It says king with Uraeus.
Oh no, it definitely don't got. I don't think it's Uraeus. But if you're sharing your screen, I don't know. But right now, that's kind of like, I can't answer that question, and it's not really relevant to what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is the way that they normally refer to Hakai ain't in the sense of this type of divinity. If you're saying that that is used for a king. That's cool. But what's next is this inek, right? And then we got the blank part, and then we got a uchik, and then another determinative that represents the same. It's the same determinative that he used for himself that he used for in plurality down here under whatever this word is. So we got to slow down, because if I would have if I was having a debate about it, one would have to first show, outside of using Brother Reggie's work, where the ancient Egyptians considered themselves a divine people. You see, because this determined now, furthermore, these are normal people down here. You see, they just got the regular man, the stick figure. So, so it's showing you that whoever wrote this was like, now to say he has ruled over blacks is actually, in my translation, appropriate. But that's going to be inappropriate to some who don't want it to say that, but it's grammatically correct. But first, we got to finish this Reconstruction. Now, so we had got down past the A, and I just only hypothesized that it could be a papyrus roll here. But let's just be clear. You don't got the option of it being a man and a papyrus roll, right? You can put a man down here, but it's either you got to take your pick. Now, seeing that, it can't be a man right here then, because you're going to run out of space if you think about it. So because you got to put the in at. All right, let's think about it.
You're right.
I'm just saying, let's think about, I want to type like you, I'm going to snip it and I'm going to do some color coding just to see how this will turn out.
See, because I'm thinking,
you're right. There's not enough.
It could be the same because they both the same length.
Well, watch this. It's gonna get through.
There's not enough room for the seed of man, though.
So quick question. Could that man, seated man, be used for the words NSW, in that spot right there?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
I mean, so it's just like not often. I'm looking at how many times I just seen a seated man and then read Nisu. It probably won't be that often. Yeah, it ain't gonna be that often.
Okay.
So now if we just do this all the way down to the determinative, right? And then I'm gonna just go to the line under the determinative and go all the way over. Just kind of rough, just to show where that would kind of like end if all of this was written into this text, right?
Right.
So you see how high up this Kimu bird is?
Just a little bit higher than the one to the left.
So in this space, we got to get in ek, a Kim bird, and a M, possibly. And I'm like, all right, now it seems like we pushing it, because let me see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You see what I mean? In this space, from this white line to, I'm going to be fair and go right there under it. We have to put this in, this K, because that's in all of them.
Hold on.
The N and the K is in all of them.
Wait, with the next line, do the next line after the K ball.
So let's try to reconstruct it just for this one I'm going to show.
Yeah,
so here go the NK. I'm going to do this in blue.
All the way across.
Yeah, real quick. So this is like, if we propose that everything in yellow was in this column, then it would stop about right here. If we think the NK was there too, then look at the little space we got left. Now, only thing that's going to be here is a Kim glyph. Probably, man, it's going to be a Kim glyph, probably like, it's damn near going to just be this, a Kim glyph and the owl, bro. That's all that could be there. If that even, you feel me?
Yeah. The Kim glyph and the owl is the only thing that need to be there for it to be consistent.
And for it to say what he's trying to say. Now, when I talked to Winterman, we started to talk about this one. But let's be clear on the other ways that could be parsed. Because that was just one way. I don't want people to think that that's rigid. Because if we come to this Hakai Inek, it'll go up higher. It don't have to have a man there. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if we say it stopped with this one stopped, and they gotta fit them other glyphs in there, so somebody gonna probably say it's probably closer to.
I would go with the papyrus roll in that case.
So then that means you think it would be one that stopped about right here, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's gonna be hard for me to draw that line all the way over, but
yeah, but see, you still
that's
got
about
enough
the
room to
same.
put
That's
that. You
about the
still got
same.
enough room to put that T.
Now you
that
got
T
now
in
you
the
got
owl.
enough. Now
Put the owl in the T.
Yeah, you would have enough space for the Kemet, the M, and a T. But that ain't that's what I argued with him. I'll play the video. Hold on. Because I'm like, you trying to tell me you saying KMT ooh? We never really see KMT ooh. KMTW. That wouldn't even be saying what it's trying to say. Like that's so he said it would be the soft I. He said we do find it, and that soft I probably fell off. But the reason why I'm showing all this is to go back to Kurt Self's work. And he solved it for us in the book, even though he still got a question mark. In the book, when we come up here, look at this. Oh, wait a minute. Then it's gonna be lunchtime. Let me see. We come over here. So anybody want to know what they think is in that one space? What do Kurt Self think it is? This is the first star on the book. Ain't that a ooh chick?
Yeah.
So now let's go down to the only star that ain't numbered in this part of the spell. All of these got star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go to the star without a number, which is going to be the first one. And this is it. There goes star number 2. But when he put the first star, he didn't put no number. I can show you all the stars. Y'all see star number?
Slow down, Smash. Hold up, man. You mean to tell me if you was to go through all of this, all of them got the 1, 2, 3, and up except that.
No, this is what I'm. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to say too. Yeah, but don't trip off that. That's the process of his scholarship. What's the name said this is the one. Somebody said that's the one.
Talking about okay.
Reggie said that's the one next to it, and so, but that's the first star. Everybody can see that's a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can see that's star number 2. You see star number 2?
Mm-hmm.
I did a whole show where we went through this text. They go star number 5. If somebody say no, the other one is star number 1, then I would concede. Look, here go 3 and 4. So y'all see everything but star number 1, and star number 1 is the one that proved that it saved black people. Now watch this. He's saying, is this a Kimu? He put the question mark. Why he didn't say a TU bird like my good brother who said earlier? Look.
What's cold about it, Smash?
That's right here. Go ahead.
Okay. What's cold about it is we see the TU in the same position on the other one that we can see.
But hold on, that's not a TU bird. That's a ooh chick.
Yeah, excuse me, a ooh chick. Yeah, we see the ooh chick.
There go the ooh chick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep
all the
going.
way across on all the other ones besides that one. So it's over.
But hold
Anybody,
on.
you have to be a damn key.
So I want to show some grammar. Now, this is what we about to trip off. This ooh chick right here is making, in this rendition, whatever's right here or would be right here is making it plural, or it's taking the verb and changing it into a collective. So we know, remember when we translated it to English, it said, you have ruled Egypt, those who are on the earth? That don't make no sense. The person was looking at whatever word he used as a collective of people, and he even proved it by doing what in 3 of the renditions?
Making it plural.
No, he put plural, but he put the determinative for some divine people.
So he's talking about the natures or something.
No, he ain't talking about the natures, definitely not. He's not, because you want to know how we know? Because he referred to himself with the same determinative, see?
Right.
So he's just saying we are higher class than these people down here. I mean, he ain't saying that out loud, but the determinatives are saying that. See what I mean?
Yeah, because they're in a higher position.
Yeah, he referred to him. He referred to himself with a divinity classifier. He referred to these people with a divinity classifier. But when he say those who are upon the earth, he just used regular people.
These are the cosmic texts, so they're all going to be deified ancestors, right?
Well, but not that's a good one, but not this Kimu.
Okay.
Well, now that opens up a whole world of inquiry that could be happening. So that's a very good question. But he talking about those who are on the earth, and he saying specifically. So we could rule that out, that he ain't even he clearly saying to us Tepiuta. Now if
So
I
he'll be speaking in ways like I, me, myself.
So look, he not saying he has ruled Egyptians, those who are on the earth. It only really makes sense to say he has ruled black people. I mean, I'll use my logic, bruh. Because what does Egyptians, those who are on the earth, mean?
So we'll be committing
Egypt, so that's out.
Huh?
We can't use
And
the
it
word
would've-
Egypt in this particular sense. So yeah, that's out for me.
But remember when he said the Kimu earlier in the video, and so I don't want us to get lost. I hear what you was about to say. That good guy, is that you?
I was just trying to piggyback. I was trying to piggyback off of what James is saying, is that it's not Egypt at this time.
It's not.
So it wouldn't be the Egyptians.
Exactly.
It
It
would
wouldn't make no sense. But now we got instances that kind of like prove. So here's the thing. We did see Kurt Self did put the Uchik here, right? I didn't make that up, right? Like he said, and that part is a Uchik. So for this one right here, let's just say we only seen this one, and then I'm gonna show you some details about this text that we had not revealed yet. Look, if this is a Uchik right here, this says Kim U. Right? In the beginning, I mean, if we understand what Kim U, ain't no way to get around Kim U. Take the word black and put plural on it, and what you gonna say?
Blacks.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, man, that's hard to do. It's hard to get around this one. Now, if you want to say the U is indicative of a participle, make this being a participle, then it's still those who are black. You feel me? So that would probably be worse. Because it'll say he has ruled those who are black.
Okay, now hold up. This was kind of throwing me off. In this determinative position that's right after that, because they just not no regular people, what status are they on right here?
Well, they on the status that Brother Reggie taught us, yes?
So Smash, if we go back
Divine?
Yeah.
You don't say. See what I was, and when Reggie was here, man, I was like, man, Brother Reggie's the head of the curve.
So Smash, is he saying he
you know what I'm saying?
He's saying he ruled a divine people of a certain land, of the black land?
Nope. He don't say shit about the black land. So we can go straight into it. Let me show you. Look, we're gonna go to one that don't eat. I'm gonna go to the worst one. Because this one got an 049 on it. This one got an 049 on it. So this one will make people think.
That's why I said
this will make you think that he's talking about some land or something, but let's read the grammar. We just got another Sejm NF past perfect. So it happened in the past and it's a complete action. So he has ruled. Now, why am I starting right here? Because it's a Sejm NF form. And we've been talking about Sejm just means to hear. So the first word in a Sejm NF form is going to be a verb, right? And it happened, it's because of the verb form where we got haka, this whole word, even down to the papyrus roll. That is all the verb for ruling. You could be a ruler if it was a noun, but this ain't a noun because because you don't use ancient Egyptians never used this form for a noun. And I'm gonna show you what I mean by the form. Now this is haka, which means if it's a verb and it's a past tense. If it's past and the action is complete. Oh, no, I messed up. It's past and it's active. I'm glad I said that, right? Thank you, Chris, in my head. In my head, I heard Chris say, no, it's active. It's past and it's active as he has ruled, right? And so then this is just the ruling, but look, this is the marker that let us know, okay, I can't, my disagreement with the person teaching me now, I say this is just representing has, but I probably ain't saying that the best. And this is, what do we get when we see this ekbo? It's a suffix pronoun on this form right here called Sedgum NF. So we see it NK, but the normal way we might see it to learn it is NF. It won't be a K right here. So this is he, right? Yeah, I know y'all know that. I mean, if not, then somebody can help and correct me. I'll be falling off sometimes too, but we normally know this as the third person, right? So the first person is going to be E with a reed leaf. What's the second person? Somebody say that. Oh, no, wait. Is this the you or he? Now y'all messing me up because y'all ain't nobody coming in with no chime. But we know it's he because I read the text over and over. He has ruled Kemet. Now I'm going to put this Kemet here. And because we see this 049, what you going to translate this as? He has ruled Egypt? Or it makes... Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. There is no Egypt at that time. So geographically, it probably would have to be like Menefer or somewhere.
But hold on. You got to read the ancient glyphs. What does this word mean before it was an Egypt there?
Do we go by the gnome, the signs, the gnome signs?
All right, Hakam means ruler. In this sense is like has. Ek is he. Kemet is black. 049 is the category for black, which means like a city or a town. Now, the grammar of this, what we have next, is a plural term. This is how we know that these are this. Please follow me on this. Look at this. This says tep-eu. It looked like it says tep-u, but we should know that there's a weak Y because this is the third week. So the third consonant in that triliteral use right there is not there. So I think it's a third week. Tepi. Yeah, the Y might not always be there. So look. So what I just highlighted right now, y'all all see the uchik, which represents the W, right? Somebody got to rock with me in this workshop.
We following you.
I'm just making sure y'all see. So y'all all see the uchik. So the word above that is tep. Now, tep-e is really the word, but we don't see the Y. Now, if you meant a U on it, you just changed the number, right? And you changed more than that. You changed it just from meaning tep or like the head or the foremost to those who are. You want to know why? Because it just switched. That's why the same thing would have happened if it was a uchik on the Kim. It'd be those who are black. So if tep means top or upon, you put a u on a tep or a tepu, and you got those who are upon. See? Because you just changed this to make it nominal now. We did took it, I think it's a participle, but we just took it from the verb. We took it from one word class to another. And now you add not tep, the head, but it's those who are the head, but that don't work. So it's like, in this instance, it's those who are upon, because we got this uchik here. Now, if you're going to do this with this something before, it has to be plural. You can't just put a uchik on tepi, on tepi, and make tepi-u without a noun or something before it being plural. So, but we just see Kemet with no plurality. So what the teacher and scholar argued was that, well, they could be imagining a a TU bird or a reed leaf and an uchik, which will make this Kemet to you, and that'll be plural, and then we'll have agreement. But none of these say Kemet to you. And when I talked to him, I was like, can you please just show me a rendition of like where that'll be at? Because I ain't never seen how he said it would be KMT with a W. We could see Kemet. Ooh. Now, I hope I ain't losing nobody, so I'm going to be quiet for a minute. If y'all got something to say. All right, well, if not, we can continue. Now, the funny thing is here, this. If you was doing a if we was just comparing these two lines, we see everything line up. But in this slide, we see a Kim glyph. Let me make a color. We see a Kim glyph and an M. But in slot number 1, which is to the left, in the same amount of space, we see KMT. So in order for these people to be trying to say the same thing, we need to figure out what's in here or what they're saying. If you think Kemet means Egypt, then you're going to force these other things to be something wrong. But if you can understand that he's talking about the people in this instance, because of multiple reasons, because of the plurality in the word tepiu, tepiuta, those who are on the earth. What is that? A city? If it was a city, it would be multiple Kemets. And he ruled all the Kemets that are on the earth. Do that make sense? No, but if it was black people, you can use the plurality. And he could rule all of them that are on the earth. But not just black people in this locality. Right? But let's keep it going. Because as we look at Kurt Seth, and I'm going to make this the only color since it don't matter. In this purple spot, Kurt Seth said there was a W, a uchit. Right? Hold on.
In that little spot?
So let's be clear. In this spot right here, he said it was one of these, basically. And that could definitely fit there. Look. Same exact size. Now, Kurt Seth is a scholar from like the early 1800s or something. Whatever. Early 1900s, whatever. But this could definitely fit in that purple space over there. If it was in that purple space, as we see it might be right here, then this would say Kimu. And then we see a person after that in 3 strokes. That would match the gender of Tepiuta. And the only way you can render Kimu, you can't say Egyptians, because they say that's Kemetiyu, those who are upon what is black. That's what they're trying to say. Or those who are related to that which is black. But with Kimu, you can't say that. You have to just say blacks. And if you say blacks, and you see a man, divine man, with 3 strokes after it, you could argue that, well, this isn't what you use for man. But the text messed you up because the person speaking, or whoever wrote about the person speaking, also used that for him. See what I'm saying? So, I don't know. This one, I still rock with this. And I got a linguist who said that this is what it is. And grammatically, you really can't, besides what I heard he's a super black belt. He is a PhD. I can't even call him a black belt. So if I ain't accepting that argument because of my logic, then I just really think there's nothing nobody's going to be able to say. You know what I'm saying? Because he put out the best argument. He said that he think that there is a T and the uchik right here. I can argue against that. I definitely can.
Yeah, he said two things could fit in that spot, right?
Yeah, T and an U chick. And he showed how they could fit. But what we gotta realize is we don't ever see KMT with just a U chick behind it. We don't see that. I'm sorry, bro. You're not about to see
He
that.
said without
KMT with the U chick behind it. See, we got KM with a U chick behind it. The reason why is because the U chick, which is giving us some plurality, is attaching to the root. The root is black, right? And so right here is attaching to the root. That is just going to put plurality on black and then show us in the category of people. So that'll be blacks. I mean, that's the term I don't even use. I don't say blacks, but this should say blacks.
Blacks. Nah, nobody say blacks. That sound
Exactly. That, I want people to understand. I don't even say that. But I'm reading what the text says. So how do you say black and then you put a plurality on the end? It ain't no way around it. You can say black people, but it don't say
You have to
people.
say black people, not blacks.
I mean, yeah, he has ruled black people, but I mean, you know, that ain't really say people. It's a determinative that you're not supposed to read. It lets you know the category of what he meant when he said black. Kimmel, how about let's just say Kimmel? When he said Kimmel, and it was referring to some people.
Or the black community?
Well, I mean, again, he has ruled with this one, Kimmel don't got, these other renditions don't got nothing but an 049. So we only seen these, we had never even think it had nothing with an 049 on it. You feel me? This glyph right here, it ain't.
So can I ask you something? When they use the pluralities, even for that one person, can it also be used as is a group of people or just that one person?
No, this plurality, if they use the strokes, 3 strokes, is most often, it's often plurality if that's the way they're using it. They use it for other reasons, but if in this instance, it represents plurality.
So if they're using it for pluralities, why can't you say community or group of people?
Well, because we normally, that's a good question. It's because we normally don't read that glyph. It just lets us know how to think about the glyph before it. So now, if the glyph don't got 2 words, it just got 1, and it's just the word is Kim. You see what I'm saying? So how could I squeeze something else into there? But the category of black, they showed us the category. It is a divine individuals, it appears. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some can say, no, that ain't that, but what is they gonna say? Why is he using this determinative? So yeah, you can say people, I'm saying, no, but even if we go back to what the scholar said, he never said people because he didn't want to add a word that ain't in there. You have ruled Egypt, which are on the earth, which is inconsistent as far as number and agreement is concerned. If one translates Kemet as Egypt rather than Egyptians rather than Egypt, the plural agreement of the phrase Tepiu is consistent with that of Kemet as a plural noun. But see, Kemet ain't a plural noun. When they form collectives, it's looked at as a singular, so it ain't working. This interpretation is consistent with that of other lacunary versions of the spell, whose reconstructions appear to have meant to be read Haka in Ek Kemu Tepiuta. In this case, the reference to Egyptians, so he's saying blacks too, but he just put it in quote. In this reference, because I'm going to prove it at the end, the reference to Egyptians rather than Egypt is more explicit, since the word for Egyptians, Kemu, told you Kemu. That ain't no word for Egyptians. He's just being scholastic. It's directly derived from the root Kim rather than the word Kemet. That the plural of the word is marked by a more ambiguous plural marker W, and that the word's reference to humans is expressed by its classifier. If these reconstructions and translations are correct, one would have another instance of the word Kim, Egyptian, and thus further plausibility of the etymological meaning of Kemet, Egyptians, as the black ones. So I'm glad he said the black ones instead of blacks. Because I can say the black ones. Yeah, when you see an ooh chick and it's changing the category of a word, you're definitely justified in saying ones. But yeah, that was that. All right, man. I've been streaming for a long time. Anybody got some words they want to get in? James, you want to hold it down or what? I don't know. It ain't.
I gotta go get some lunch.
Yeah, I'm right on that myself.
Yeah. So yeah, peace, man. It was a good show. Let's see how this turn out, and let's see what we got coming up next.
It's all good.
Magi Archers in the building. Peace to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, I want to say one thing, yo. You did your thing. Every time you speak to a scholar, even when you spit that rap, and I want to act like you messed up on the rap, said I'm gonna send it to Sarnetta so they could laugh at him. Yo, even when you spit raps, they agree with you. So you be doing your damn thing all over the board. And big ups to you, my brother.
That was funny. I had to hit them with a bar because I just was comfortable like that. And they felt that thing. They was like, oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't be so fast.
Yeah, they were like, don't doubt yourself. There is information that leaks to that verse that you spit. So
that's real. Word up, I appreciate that. What's up, Patah? You want to get the last word in?
Yo, always a pleasure. Keep shooting. Don't stop. Won't stop.
You know how we do. Word up. That's what's up. Peace. All right, y'all. Thanks for